Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the North East Non-League Show, sponsored by DJ Private Hire, Gateway Accountancy Services Limited, Elite Goalkeeper Academy, Motivate, and Danny Lay Plumbing and Heating. Tonight is our Sunderland Westend special, with myself, managers Cotter and Patton, and committee member. Supposed to be on call stores, but hopefully be watching on from down the hub as well. But lads, thank you very much for coming on the show tonight.
No bother.
Yeah, and I think it's a lot to talk about on and off the pitch this summer over Westend, which is always good to see as well. But starting with yourself, Cocker, coming back onto the club now towards the end of last season, finished the season really strongly, and I think most clubs, because of all the games that were kind of delayed and all the games played down the hub, just wanted the season finished. Where I think for Westend going towards the end of the season, we just want the season to continue at that time, didn't we?
Well, we didn't want it to end. I mean, the season, we came to the club, I think it was roughly about early March. We came to the club, it was, to be fair, we came in, the playing side wasn't very good. The off the field side wasn't tremendous either. It was quite low morale. So there was a lot of work to be done. There was big changes needed, both on and off the pitch. We had something like 46 players in the squad. I think we ended up keeping about 9 or 10 in total, and we brought 16 lads in. And it's to be fair, the playing side of things changed very quickly. Although the results didn't change straight away, I thought the performances on the pitch was really good. The effort was good. There was certainly starting to get to be a togetherness within the squad, and you could feel there was a change and shift a bit around the club as well. Off the field, it was getting really good, and we did finish the season fairly strongly. And I think it was a preparation for the pre-season and the season ahead. It went really well, and we were really pleased. And it was tough at first, but it was great to be back.
Yeah, and I think we joked about it last week, Pat, when we did a couple of interviews before the game, and we kind of said, compared to last season, we just had a blank canvas at Billingham, and you had to pretty much build everything from scratch. I think it was nice to get into the summer, have players retain, new players coming in. You kind of had a plan. You could plan your pre-season with the players that you had. It was a bit more relaxing for you, wasn't it?
It was. Obviously, when I spent at Billingham, it was. I think there was something like, well, there was a handful of players under 18s. Everyone had left when the previous managers had left. So it was really difficult. We had to build a squad within weeks, and we've done that. A squad that competed. But this year it's been totally different. Obviously, when we first came in, like Steve said, in March last year, we signed 16 lads. 16 lads who we knew that we wanted to take forward into the next season as well. So this pre-season, I think we've only signed 2 players, just to add to that, added a bit quality. But chalk and cheese when you talk about like having to build squads and stuff like that down at Billingham compared to now, where we finished the season strongly, and we've took that into the training sessions that we've had this year. The lads lacked a little bit of fitness, so we've Steve, Sal, been fantastic. We've been up and down Castle Eden and places like that, just getting the base work done and the fitness done, and there's a good vibe about the place. But it's been a lot easier, let's say, than it was down there. But yeah, we're looking forward to the season now. Pre-season's just about finished now, and the lads has been absolutely fantastic, to be honest with you.
I was going to say, do you miss Jake with the drum? I might get my drum up next season and bring it down, like get your head battered. So no, you didn't miss that part.
Season for that drum is more than enough for anybody.
But I think one of the big things that we've touched on with Cole was going to come on and chat about was, obviously it's been a busy summer on and off the field. I mean, with the first team now, we've got the new reserve team who's flying. I don't think they've been beaten yet in pre-season. The ladies team staying on board, the disability team coming across, over 25 youth teams now, and just new sponsors coming all the time. And I just want to touch obviously on the Club 25, which kind of comes from tomorrow. And I think for me personally, I think Edgy Chance will be watching as well. I think it was nice to go out with the people. We went down South Hilton one day, went to a few shops, and it was kind of interesting telling them what our plan was, who we are, what we're going to do. And a few people didn't even realise, obviously, that the club was, 100, 200 yards away from South Hilton and stuff like that. And it was nice to go out and get that message out. And I think almost touching on 60 club members, 25 members now. and like you say, it's all local people, local businesses, and just feels like the community's all came together now. And I hope this is just the start of things going forward into next season and continue onward and get local people down. Because it'll be really nice. And I think we chatted with Daz to try and get them down one game this season where all the club members, 25s, come down, have a bit of food, watch a game, and hopefully, like I say, we can put on a good day for them as well. But I mean, with yourself, Cock, you've seen obviously things that's happening with off the field. Does that push you and obviously the management and the players a little bit more as well?
Oh, without a doubt, it's great to see that things off the field is improved as much as what it has over the past three to 4 months, and it's a massive difference because, like I touched on earlier, when we first came back to the club, the morale on and off the pitch was low. It wasn't very good at all. But I think, like yourself and the rest of the committee have really worked hard over the summer. The commercial side's picked up massively. The sponsorship side is really good. You've got the teams at the club now. We've got obviously the reserve team, which is excellent for the club. We've got the ladies team. We've got more junior teams, and the roots are starting to grow at the club again. And strong roots always breed success. And I think for me, and I think for Steve as well, and the players, we just want to give something back to the club for all the hard work they're putting in. So that's our plans for the season. Just work hard, go and try and do something for the club as opposed to on the pitch. Better performances, more people through the gates, just better exposure. That's the way we're looking at it.
Yeah, and I think with yourself, Pat, like you say, a local lad, it must mean a lot to yourself as well.
It is. Just touching on what Steve said there. When we came back in last year, like, we didn't know how long it was going to be for, because we just didn't know. The club didn't know like what was happening, whether it was still going to be going. To be fair, but everyone's pulled together, and I can't thank the committee enough. Obviously, I'm a local lad. I'm a Sunderland Westend lad. I ran the youths at Sunderland Westend, and just to see the work that yourself, especially as well, coming on board and putting the club on the map, sort of thing in the area, along with the work from the rest of the committee, has been fantastic. And we just want to give something back. Like, we've already spoke to the lads and just told them like how much work has gone in just to make the season happen and the future seasons happen. So all we want back is just give 100%, and hopefully we can have a little bit of success on the field in terms of definitely not being where we've been in the last few years, maybe climbing up that table and giving the people, the lads who come to watch us and the committee, just something back.
Yeah, and I think as well, like you look at now, you've got the reserve side, you've got the youth side, and there's a little gap, I think, between under 13s, 14s up the reserve. But in a few years' time, you could be having literally an age group of every single youth stage going up to the reserves. If they do well, they've got that step now at the first team, and that's what you need at the non-league clubs, isn't it? Your local lads, because I mean, you look at the youth sides, and I just want to touch on it because obviously I run the under 10s as well now, but the amount of the clubs last season, every single youth club either won the league, won promotion, won a cup, won a tournament. There's some good young players in the area, and hopefully that could be the future of Westend as well, couldn't it?
Yeah, well, like you say, the most important thing is a pathway. I'm fortunate enough to be involved with Seaton Crew, and that pathway is all the way through. It has teams all the way through from the tots all the way through to the seniors now. Now that is what the Sunderland Westend have got to try and achieve, and we're not far away. We're really not far away. So the junior teams, as you say, they're getting stronger. Yes, there is a bit of a gap there now, but that won't be there for long. You know, there'll soon be no age groups where there's space. You'll have continuity right the way through the club, and that can, once again, it only breeds to success, and it only just breeds to more good feeling around the club and stability. I think that's the word we should be using. I think it stabilises the club.
Yeah,
so it's great to see. It's absolutely great to see. And I mean, I know I'm not a local lad, but like for the likes of Steve, I mean, I know Steve, how passionate he's been about the club over the years because he had a junior team himself back in the day at Westend. So I understand the logistics of it from his side of things, but that doesn't mean because I'm not a local, it doesn't mean that I care about it, because obviously I've come to the club and I want as much success for the club as what I do for Seaton. Ultimately, I want the first team to be doing well as well, but that's because that's got to be the yardstick for these kids moving forward.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, nearly double figures watching now. Absolutely amazing support as always. Again, please get across to our Facebook page, our Twitter page, like and follow as much as you can. Share our posts as well. Honestly, if that one post could be shared out, you never know who's watching and help us so much. So please get that done for us. Well, if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button as well. But the season as well, Cocker, not too far away now. Are you happy with the squad? Or do you think there could be one or two more players coming before the start of the season?
Well, we certainly haven't closed the door, that's for sure. We're certainly happy with the squad, but you just never know, do you? We discussed it at the start of pre-season. We were happy with the squad that we had. We identified one or two players. We brought those couple of players in. We've been very fortunate to get the players that we wanted in because, you know, they are good players and they're much sought after. So for us to get the players that we wanted and the ones that we've identified has been quite pleasing. The squad itself looks very strong. We've got depth all over the place, from goalkeeper all the way through to centre forwards, and we've got good experienced players in there. We've got a good mixture of youth in there, and the balance of the squad's good, but the atmosphere in the dressing room is starting to get there, and we've got a really good dressing room, and it's, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Really looking forward to it. But answer to your question, do we want to bring anybody else in? We're not looking, but if somebody becomes available that fits the bill, well, we're certainly interested.
Yeah, I think with that part as well, like you say, a couple of big players re-sign, like the likes of PAG and stuff like that, the experience that you need in there. But obviously, I know you tried for months to get him in, Patton coming in as well. It's just looking a bit more promising on the pitch as well for the players that's re-signed and the players coming in as well, doesn't it?
It does. It does. Like you say, we signed quite a few last year, so we had like sort of the core of the squad that we want to keep. But obviously, I was sitting around with Kyle just about every week for the last 6 months in the Rosedale every Saturday night to get him to come across, and finally I bribed him. Finally, he made the jump and come across, and a great signing for us. Carl's well known throughout the non-league scene, knows where the net is, and that's what we've needed. Obviously, Luke Pagey, another legend throughout the non-league football. He's committed for the season, so he was another one massive to get across the line. But like Steve says, other than that, we haven't really been looking. We feel like we're just about there, but you never say never. Obviously, lads leave as well. You get that as well at times. So you never say never, but we're not really looking at the minute. But we feel like we've got a squad that's definitely going to challenge better than we have over the last couple of years. And like I said before, we just want to try and give the committee something to smile about every week, especially Davy Young. Give him something to. He's been involved in the club for 15 years. Give him something to smile about every Saturday night, and he's happy with that. And we'd love to do that for him.
No, that'd be great, wouldn't it? I mean, all the hard work that we see in the videos, all the fitness work that's been in as well. Obviously, playing now 3 games. What's your thoughts on the on-field stuff so far?
Fitness levels in pre-season have been excellent. We have pushed the lads. In fact, we've punished them, and we've punished them hard. But we warned them. We told them at the end of the season what was going to be happening. So it was no stranger to them when we said the first training session of the season, pre-season, was, look, get your trainers on. We're going out for a run and we're going to do some hard work. And we continued in that vein all the way through the pre-season before the matches started. It's been tough, and to be fair to the lads, they've gone on with the job, and they've been tremendous. They've worked so hard, and I think it's starting to show. I mean, we've only played 3 friendlies, but the levels of fitness going into 60, 75, into 90 minutes, the lads are still going. We had a good one against Seaham, the first game against Seaham. It was a tough start for us. They were a decent side, but we kept going for the 90, and we got lots out of it. It was a good workout for good minutes in the legs, but it was a positive game and a positive. Although the results aren't important, we got a draw out of it. It was a decent game, but then we played Easington last week, and that was a tough game because they were very good, very well organised. We missed quite a few players, but once again, we told the lads before the game it wasn't about the result. It's all about minutes and legs, and the important thing was fitness and the positive performance. And for large periods of the game, once we got to grips with how they were playing. It was good. It was good, and
Yeah.
I was pleased, and I think that the two lads, Steve and Sal, were pleased as well. It was very pleasing to see. And I thought last night against Seaton Carew, I thought the boys, because we rotated quite a bit last night, and everybody got a minimum of 45 minutes, and I thought the boys were exceptional with the fitness levels, and the play was good. We were getting the ball down. It was a greasy pitch. We got the ball down. We were zipping it about. And to be fair, the lads, they kept going for the full 90, and it was, once again, another promising performance, but more importantly, another good run out and the minutes in the legs as well for the lads. So it's going really well. It's gone really well up to now pre-season. We're a week and a half away now from the start of the season, and you know, I'm really excited. I'm really excited because of the hard work that everybody's put in. The lads have been exceptional in pre-season. They've worked so hard. So we've got to give them credit. Yes, we've prepared them, but they've had to do it, and they've done it. And fair play to the boys. They're looking better for it as well, by the way.
Excellent. I mean, Saturn as well, patted down AFC Blackpool. Like you say, it's good to challenge another team who's not going to be in the Northern League, or it's like a different challenge for you, but also bit team bond as well, coming back. I'd imagine there'd be a few drinks on the bus as well, but it's all about getting the players together and just having a good time, really, isn't it?
That's what it's about. That's what it's about. When you get organise these trips away to Blackpool, we're not absolutely nothing about them, but that's not the main aim of the day. It's we need to get the dressing room right. We need to get the camaraderie right. We need to get everyone fighting for each other, and there's no better way than socials. Socials is fantastic for it. So Saturday, although we're going there, we're a good side and we want to give a good showing of ourselves. It is predominantly for the socials and getting lads to know each other a little bit better and get that dressing room buzzing again. And we organised one last year when us were Billingham. We went down to Stoke, wasn't it, Steve?
Kids Grove.
Kids Grove, and it was a tough game against a team that was 3, 4, 5 tiers above us or whatever it was. But it was just the socials of getting people together, and that's what it's all about. That is, I've heard people on here getting interviewed, and I think a lot of the managers that you hear, they'll say you've got to get the dressing room right, and that was one of our pride. Like I say, we brought all these new players together, so we're still in the process of getting that dressing room, but we'll get there. We'll absolutely get there. And hopefully Saturday will be a big step towards that.
I hope there's a few pictures and videos in the group like I'll be watching throughout the day.
Yeah,
as well.
We've got a few. Obviously, there's quite a few missing because it's holiday season as well. So we've got 14 or 15 lads to take down. So quite a few young lads, but they're going to get their opportunity. And once again, this is what pre-season's about. But we will be having a few drinks on the bus on the way back, and obviously none before we go there, James. That's for sure.
And getting onto the league itself, and I'm going to come both of you on this one. Start with yourself, Cocker. I mean, looking at Division 2, I know I spoke with the Billingham Symphony lads last week. Sorry, I had missing a few managers throughout the last couple of weeks as well. Division 2, looking at last season, I know you had Blythe, got some good players in there, the budget. Obviously, you had Blue Star in there as well. And you kind of think it could have been between them two. Where you look at this season, it's very open. There's not, I would say, a 3 or 4 where go, they're going to run away with the league. I think this could be the most open Division 2 it's been in quite a while, isn't it?
Well, I had a chat with Johnny and Andy from Horden last week, and that was exactly the same conversation that we had last season. You had Blythe and you had Blue Star, which probably were poles apart from most teams. Although I must say that towards the end of the season, Easington went on a phenomenal run, and hence the reason why they got promoted. So they did compete and deservedly went up because of that. But this season, I think there's not much between the teams at all. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be open, and I think teams are going to beat each other. I think it's not going to be. I don't think you're going to have one team as such that's going to go out there and blitz the league, similar to what Blythe did last year. I just can't see that happening. What I can see is I can see a very competitive league this year, and it's wide open. So I think it's a case of whoever gets a good start, and the first 10 teams that get a good start, they're going to be there or thereabouts come the end of the season. So it will be open. It'll be good. It'll be a good season in this league, and I'm expecting it to be fairly tight right across the board.
Yeah, great thought on Potter.
Aye. I think, like, obviously, you've got to look at the likes of Bedlington, Horden, Sinners, and Chester, who were the ones that finished just underneath the playoffs last year. I haven't seen too much movement of signing players, and most of them have signed one or two here and there. So you've got to say that them four is going to be strong again. And I think them four will be right up there. Not putting any pressure on Stewie, like, and Bowser, but I think they'll be right up there next season. But people talk about budgets and stuff like that, and whoever's got the highest budget. It doesn't always work like that. Having a big budget comes with its own dilemmas and different pressures, and I have no idea what other budgets are in the league and what other teams is getting, but I think it's going to be fairly tight. I think them four that I mentioned probably going to be up there round about, and then everyone else is looking to try and get to that level, I think, for next year. Obviously, we'd love to be up there next year, in and around somewhere near, maybe top half or halfway, maybe. We've just got to see how things go. But I think it's going to be, there's no, like, I kind of say, I don't know much about the new teams that's coming up, but Alnwick Town seems strong, just off looking at pre-season. I know you can't read too much into pre-season. And Darlington Town have signed quite a few lads, good players, so I expect them to be pretty decent as well. So overall, I think it's going to be a tight league. I really do.
I think Wright and Croker need to be mentioned as well, because I think they've been active in the summer, and they've signed some very good players. So I think I mentioned to them as well. I think they could be somewhere near this season. They look like going to be a very good team.
Yeah.
Going to be a great season. I know we had one question for Cole, but I think we'll touch on it as well. I mean, since coming to the Northern League, I think up until COVID, I think it was kind of quite high finishes in the top half. And since then, we're kind of looking over the shoulder in the points per game ratio. And we like to say the FA just letting us down right at the last minute, saying how many's going to go down. It's just a farce. But I think next season, I know we chatted on Saturday night, it'd just be nice to have that comfortable season where we'll win a few, yes, you might draw a few, lose a few, but we're not going to be looking over our shoulder come the end of the season. I think that's kind of the main aim going into it.
Yeah, I think for me and for the group, we've discussed it. We just want to stay away from that bottom three this season. Just stay away from it. Let's just have a good start to the season. Get somewhere. Hopefully, get somewhere near mid-table. Just stay away from that bottom zone, and just try and just be consistent throughout the season. Yeah, we're going to lose games, of course we are. But if we can just get some sort of consistency and have a decent season, so we can build on a decent season. So hopefully the following season we can then go aim higher from that point. But we have to be realistic. We've finished in the bottom three for the last two seasons. We've got to try and get out of that this season. So that's got to be our main aim. That for me is the most important thing of all. And that's the discussions that we've been having with myself, Steve, and Sal all summer, and that's discussions we've been having with the committee and the lads as well. So that's where I'm at. I just think let's stay away from that. Let's be comfortable this season, and let's not come to March, April time and think, Jesus, it's here we go again. It's pressure games aplenty. We don't want that. We'd like it to be a nice run into the end of the season for a change. That would be good.
Yeah, great thought on Potter.
It's like the two times that we have took over. The first time the points per game ratio was like something like 0.5 or something like that. It was really low, and we had sort of 18 games to try and put that right. But a lot of the teams around us had games in hand, because obviously we can use our plastic pitch. So that seems to happen on a regular basis. Same as this last year, those teams had 11 games in hand on us, 9 games in hand on us, and we're just, the club's just sick of being down at the bottom, and we're just, hopefully we can get a good start to the season, and get away from that bottom three, because we feel like we've been constantly stuck there since the two times that we have took over. We've been stuck at the bottom and trying to fight to get out. It'll be nice to start on a level playing field and see where we can go from there. So pressure's on us really to get the team up that table and away from that danger zone.
I think
Yeah,
I think it's worth mentioning as well that this is the first time that we've come into a season with the Westend, and we're actually starting with the pre-season behind us, and I think that's going to be quite significant for us because we've never had that in the past. And for me, with that and the fact that we've had that time with the squad in the dressing room, I think it's going to be vitally important. So if we can just get a good start to the season, see where it takes us. Let's see where it takes us. But listen, it's not for the want of quality in that dressing room, because we've certainly got quality in there. We just need to get that consistency of results and that obviously the togetherness within the dressing room.
Yeah, I think I look at the main job. I know we're pushing the committee as much as we can to get it done, but make sure that the boards are all up. You've got our big badge up there saying welcome to Westend and stuff like that. I know if Jason's watching now, I think he's messaged a few times since he's said I'm on the committee saying, oh, it's all going to be the Westend show now, not the North East Non-League show, but laughing about it. But we need to make sure that our boards are up there. Like you say, you come down to the hub and sometimes you feel like it's a bit of a community centre that there's nothing up to say it's Westend, where hopefully all that'll be in place and stuff going on before the game as well. Just try and make it our home to get a bit of atmosphere, which we'll touch on shortly. But it'll be nice to kind of see all that put in place for our first home game, won't it?
Yeah, for me, it's our home ground. It's our home, and it needs to feel that way. I know there's been quite a few changes. The boards are going up, as you're saying now. There's banners going up. You've got the netting going round as well now, which is going to make it feel more enclosed. I think that's needed. So obviously the club are aware of these things that have needed to be done, and the committee have worked really hard to make sure that happens. And it does. It needs to feel like a home. And with all these bits and bobs that you're on about, the boards, the banners, obviously the netting, and even like match days with the microphones and the speakers, just a little bit of a feel good factor around the place on a match day. So you think, yeah, well, it's good. It's a good place to be, because we've not had that. And I think this is going to be the first time that it's actually going to happen. And I think it'll be interesting to see how people react to it. I think it'll be great. I do.
Yeah, and hopefully that part, as I say, I think the last thing we need to touch on is kind of getting people in now as well. I know the first couple of friendlies obviously has been Euros on, and I think the weather forecast last Saturday was absolutely awful. But hopefully, like you see, over the next couple of weeks, coming on our first home game as well, is just trying to get the local area down. We've touched on it so many times there. You walk up the bank, there's just house after house after house, and I know we're trying to get some flyers. Myself and the two bands going to go on the streets over the next week or so, get them pushed through the doors as well. Just keep people reminded that there's a football club down, go and use it. It would just be nice to see, like you say, 100 plus every game going into next season, wouldn't it?
It would. I mean, when we first came here, the first time, we had a lot of Friday night games, and I think our average gate was something like 120. So then people are there. We've just got to give them something to want to come back. And I know it's Friday night and Sunderland's not playing, or Newcastle's not playing. Not that there's many Newcastle fans around here, James. But then people are there. They're there somewhere, and they will come back. If we can give them something to shout about on the field, then they will come back. And like Steve touched on there about the match day experience, if we can get it so it is a match day experience with the speakers, with the music, with the banners round and the boards up and things like that, then people will come, because they have before. So hopefully we're trying to change that as well off the field, and hopefully that we can start and see the crowds come back.
We go back to but we also go back to the fact that we'll go back to obviously the DNA of the club with the junior section. We need them kids there and the families there on match days. We need them to be a part of it. Whether we have penalty competitions on the pitch before the game, half time, whatever, or the walk out with the players, or just be around the club. It just we need that togetherness as a club, and I think it's really important. But we also, for getting people through that gate, we've got to play the right way. We've got to get the right attractive football and start getting some results, so they're not thinking, oh, they're going to be coming down there today to watch them getting battered. We can't be having that. We've got to. If we want people to come and support this team, we've got to give them a reason to do so. So it's down. There's a bit of pressure on us because of it, because it's down to the players. It's down to us to set that standard. But we have to set that standard, and that's what we're striving towards.
Yeah, and I think, like you say, just doing the show kind of at night as well, and one of the main reasons I want to get the shot there before the season started. I mean, I think we're on the non-league zone. It's like a little forum, and I think towards the end of last season, going into the summer, there was quite a lot of people on there kind of saying, "What's happening now, West End? We've heard this, we've heard that. This is going to happen, that's going to happen." So I think it was so important to try and get the show out before the season starts, so we can kind of share it in there, which I will, to kind of say, right, this is what we are about, this is what we're going to do next season, because there was a lot of people just said we were kind of dead and buried. There was nothing going to happen. We were merging with RCA. We were doing this. We were doing that. So I think it's nice to get the shot now before the season starts, put all the rumours to bed and say, look, we are West End and we are literally growing together now moving forward. And I think when we went out on Saturday, obviously the committee went with the Indians and we shared the picture on social media. It went absolutely massive, the amount of shares, and people just said, this is looking good for the future. And I think that's everyone's now seeing with the social media stuff and that we're all heading in the right direction now. Would you agree?
I think for me, the biggest thing for me was when there was talk of the merge with RCA, and it didn't go ahead. And I've got to be honest, I was absolutely delighted that it didn't go ahead. Me and Steve were obviously pushing the club and saying, look, do we really need to merge? Can we not just do it ourselves? Obviously, there was rumours flying around that we'd handed our notice in and the team was going to fold and at the end of the season. And I'm not sure if that resignation letter went in, but certainly got taken out after a few weeks. So it's just about building, like I say, building the club again, but getting the message out that we're back. Basically, it feels like a new start, and I think everyone at the club feels that way, from the youth section to the committee to the players to everyone. It just feels like it's a brand new start, a brand new day, and let's give it. Let's get the club where it should be on the map, and hopefully we can do that on the field.
Yeah, I agree with it.
Yeah, like Ian says there, as always, support your local sides as much as you can as well. But lads, thank you very much for coming on the short night. And like you say, we're so close now to the season start. No, we kind of technically away the first game of the season against Chester United, but like you say, make it our home. Make Jason a bit scared coming to our place on that day as well. If you're watching, Jason, we'll be ready for you as well. But lads, thank you very much for coming on the short night.
One thing before we go, James, you've been sensational since you came to the club on the committee. Keep up the good work.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks for having us, James.
But yeah, like we said, please get across the social media, our Facebook, our Twitter. Please like, please follow, please share, and just help us as much as you can as well. But thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoy the rest of your night as well.